Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into something pretty cool. We're tackling NotebookLM today.
NotebookLM, yeah. This Google AI tool everyone's talking about.
Exactly. We're basing this whole deep dive on a YouTube video, by the way, from a channel called Uzi. And our mission, giving you all the info so you can decide, is NotebookLM right for me?
What's got people hooked is, well, imagine this. NotebookLM can process mountains of data. I mean, mountains, articles, research, even YouTube videos. It eats it all up.
And then, from what I've heard, it spits out the important stuff, like neatly organized notes.
Precisely. It's like having your own personal AI research assistant working 24/7.
The video even went so far as to say NotebookLM can free up so much time, you might have extra hours on your hands. Okay, let's be real. Who wouldn't want that? But here's the thing. I'm curious. How does NotebookLM stack up against, the big names, ChatGPT, Notion, those guys?
The video actually makes a pretty interesting comparison. It says they're similar, but distinctly different. Kind of like how, humans and bananas share about 60% of their DNA. Same family, but not twins.
Definitely not twins. Okay, so what makes NotebookLM stand out then? What's its superpower?
One of the biggies is it can directly analyze websites and YouTube videos. Plus, pretty generous free usage limits.
The video actually threw out this analogy and I loved it. Imagine processing the whole Harry Potter series, all of it, 20 times over, in one NotebookLM session. That's intense. Yeah. But practically speaking, what could someone do with that power?
Great question. I mean, think about it. You could analyze a whole research library, pull insights from years of conference recordings, or even process all the docs for some massive project, researchers, analysts, anyone dealing with tons of info. It's a game changer.
Okay, that's compelling. So we've got the what of NotebookLM, but how about the how? The nitty-gritty. Walk us through the core functions, the things it actually does.
Absolutely. The video highlights 4 main functions: document summary, Q&A, data integration, and wait for it, creative generation. And here's where things get exciting for anyone who's ever felt, bogged down by just static notes.
Because instead of those lifeless notes, NotebookLM turns them into a dynamic, almost like a podcast discussion.
Writing, you got it. It injects life into your research, making it way more engaging and, let's be honest, easier to actually understand. Now, to tap into this magic, let's break down the interface, how it all works.
From what I saw in the video, it seems pretty straightforward. You've got 3 main areas: notes, source viewer, and then a chat dialog box, like a little chat room with your AI buddy.
Exactly. Think of it as your organized workspace. Everything's right there. And when you start a new project, you just create a new notebook. Simple. Each one acts like a separate folder, keeps things tidy.
Speaking of keeping things tidy, adding sources to NotebookLM seems pretty intuitive. Drag and drop files, connect to Google Drive, or just paste in a link, website, YouTube video, boom, done. Although the video did mention a couple of caveats, right?
Right, some limitations. No paywalled content, that's a bummer. And for videos, it needs subtitles.
So no analyzing my late night YouTube rabbit hole of obscure foreign films, huh?
Well, maybe not entirely. The host actually said sometimes NotebookLM can magically understand videos even without subtitles. A bit of mystery there.
Okay, that's both cool and kind of creepy. But hey, if it means analyzing more stuff without subtitle hunts, I'm in. So, sources added, what's next? How do we actually get those amazing notes everyone's raving about?
The video recommends starting with NotebookLM's, get this, notebook guide. Basically, a menu of helpful suggestions for organizing your info, 5 preset options, frequently asked questions, study guide, a table of contents, timeline, and a full doc summary. Pick one, it automatically generates notes, all formatted based on your sources.
That's great for a quick overview, but what if I have a super specific question, something beyond those presets, like going off-roading a bit?
Then it's dialog box time. Ask NotebookLM anything about your sources, any custom question. Think of it as a direct conversation with your research materials, except, guided by a super smart AI.
And this is where I think NotebookLM gets really powerful. For anyone who's ever felt overwhelmed by information overload, it doesn't just spit out any answer, it uses your specific sources.
Exactly. So you're way less likely to run into those AI hallucinations we see with other tools. It's sticking to the facts, the evidence you gave it. And to make it even easier to trace things back, each part of its answer includes source references, like built-in footnotes for your AI discussion.
That's smart. Okay, so say NotebookLM gives me a super insightful answer, a real gem. Can I save that somewhere?
Absolutely. Hit insert note below the dialog box and bam, that text is saved as a note in your notebook. Save as many as you want, up to 1,000 per notebook.
Generous. But what about editing? Say I save a note but then want to tweak it.
That's where it gets tricky. You can't directly edit saved notes, but the video has a workaround. Select those notes as sources for a new round of questions. It's like feeding your initial insights, BBEST into the AI. Deeper analysis.
A continuous feedback loop. Love it. Refinement with each interaction. Okay, lots covered so far. Different sources, generating notes, refining those insights. But I have a feeling there's something even cooler we haven't touched on yet.
You always know how to spot the hidden gems. It's time to unveil NotebookLM's secret weapon, AI-powered podcast generation.
Wait, hold on. Is this AI actually making a whole podcast episode, like, based on my research? With intro music, sound effects, the works?
Well, not a full-blown production, but it's an audio summary presented as a podcast chat. Go to the Notebook Guide, and NotebookLM whips up this dialogue between two AI hosts summarizing your key points.
Okay, even without all the bells and whistles, that's still wild, like personal AI commentators breaking down my research. But is there a way to share these audio summaries? Could I actually send someone a link? Like, hey, check out my AI podcast.
Sharing is easy. 3 ways. A public sharing link, sharing the whole notebook with collaborators, or downloading the audio to share directly.
So I could literally send my friend a link to an AI podcast about my latest research. That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But any limitations on sharing publicly?
Yeah, public sharing is limited to personal accounts right now. And obviously be careful about sensitive info in your notebooks. Standard stuff.
Makes sense. Okay, I am sold. NotebookLM sounds like a total game changer. But no tool's perfect, right? Any downsides we should know about?
It's true, no tool's perfect. The video mentioned AI summaries can have errors sometimes. Audio can be glitchy, and right now the podcast thing's English only.
Good to know. But weren't there workarounds for some of that?
Yep. The host suggested using Google AI Studio to clean up transcripts, even get a polished Chinese version of the summary. Combining tools? Clever.
That's a great tip. So with a little ingenuity, you can really push what NotebookLM can do. But I'm wondering, what's NXT for NotebookLM? Did the video offer any hints?
Actually, the host speculated that NotebookLM's features might end up directly in Google Drive one day. Imagine analyzing and summarizing anything in your Drive, no separate interface needed.
That would be incredible. Totally fits with Google's whole integrated ecosystem vibe. But it brings up a question. Is NotebookLM destined to be absorbed into the Google machine, or will it stay its own thing?
That's a debate for the ages. It really speaks to how AI is evolving in our lives. No easy answers there.
That's a question for you to ponder, dear listener. Will NotebookLM stay distinct or become another part of the Google empire? Let us know what you think.
While you're mulling that over, let's get into some of the finer points of NotebookLM. There's a lot more to uncover.
It's wild how fast things change in tech, right? Just a while ago, NotebookLM was like Project Tailwind, back when it debuted at Google I/O May 2023.
Yeah, and this year, they didn't just rename it, they gave it a serious upgrade. That September 27th update. Direct website and YouTube summarization, that was huge.
Game changer, for sure. The video also mentions something about NotebookLM being powered by Google's, was it Gemini 1.5 Pro?
That's right, Gemini 1.5 Pro. It's the engine under the hood, so to speak.
Okay, but for those of us not fluent in AI jargon, can we break that down? What is Gemini 1.5 Pro and why should we care?
Sure. Gemini is Google's family of large language models. Think of them as like super sophisticated computer programs that understand and process language, kind of like we do.
Okay, so like the brains of the operation.
Exactly. And the 1.5 Pro part means it's a really advanced version, trained on tons of data, handles complex stuff.
So when we say NotebookLM handles massive amounts of data, we're not kidding. But can we get specific? Like how massive are we talking?
The video gives us some hard numbers. Each source can be up to, get this, 500,000 words. File size maxes out at 200 MB each, and each notebook holds up to 50 sources.
Okay, so a lot. But can we put that in like regular person terms?
The video does this fun calculation. Basically, you have 10 gigabytes of data storage per session. That's something like 25 million characters. Think 20 times the entire Harry Potter series.
Whoa. So you could analyze a whole library in one go,
Yeah.
theoretically. That's insane.
It really is. Now let's talk audio. We've covered websites, YouTube, but what about audio recordings, like lectures or interviews?
Right. Those are a pain to transcribe. Does NotebookLM just like magically do it for you? What formats does it take?
Pretty much magic, yeah. MP3, MP4, you upload it, NotebookLM transcribes it during import, saves it as a new source in your notebook.
Boom, instant transcript. But what if the audio quality is bad? Or the speaker has a thick accent? Can it handle that?
The video host actually tested that with some tricky audio. It did okay, mostly, but there were errors, especially with accents or muffled sound, so double-checking the transcript is a good idea, especially for serious research.
Always good to have a human eye on things. Now, what about tagging or highlighting parts of the transcript, like when you hear a key quote or something?
Unfortunately, not yet. The transcript's treated as one big text blob, no direct annotation within NotebookLM.
So old-school pen and paper might still be needed for real-time notes.
Okay.
Once the audio is transcribed, what happens to the original file? Is it still there, or does it vanish?
Still there. Safe and sound in your notebook, you can play it back right in the interface.
Good to know. So picture this. I upload a 2-hour interview, it's transcribed. Now I've got this massive wall of text. Where do I even start?
That's where the notebook guide shines. It's like your research assistant, giving you options for organizing all that text. Remember, FAQ, study guide, table of contents, timeline, and the full summary.
Right, different ways to look at the info. But what if I need something super specific beyond those presets?
Dialog box time. Have a chat with your transcribed text, ask anything, dig into themes, request summaries of specific sections. It's powerful.
Like an AI research partner, helping you sift through it all. This is where NotebookLM gets really impressive, I think. It's not giving random answers, it's using your sources.
Precisely. Evidence-based insights, not just creative writing. And with the source references for each answer segment, it's easy to check its work, like footnotes for your AI discussion.
Very cool. Okay, I get a brilliant answer, a real gem. I want to save that. How?
Insert note button right below the dialog box. Saves it as a separate note, up to 1,000 turn notebook. Build your own little knowledge base.
Nice. Can you edit save notes, though? Like if you want to tweak something later?
Directly, no. But the workaround is select save notes as sources for new questions. Feed your insights back into the AI, get deeper analysis.
A continuous loop of learning. Okay, we've talked text, audio. What about other data types? Spreadsheets, presentations, images?
That's where we hit some limitations. Text is NotebookLM's sweet spot. The video host tried uploading a PowerPoint, hoping it would extract text and images.
And did it work?
Not really. It's mostly about textual analysis right now. So PowerPoint still reigns supreme for presentations, it seems.
For now. I'm hoping future updates will tackle other formats. Imagine analyzing a spreadsheet right in NotebookLM.
The potential's there. Speaking of which, let's talk about one of NotebookLM's standout features, the AI-powered podcast generation.
This is the one that really grabbed my attention. So this AI makes a whole podcast from my research. Intro music, the whole shebang.
Not a full production, but an audio summary podcast style. Go to the notebook guide, it creates a dialogue between two AI hosts summarizing key points.
Okay, even without the fancy stuff, that's pretty neat. Personal AI commentators for my research.
Yeah.
Did the video give any examples of what this sounds like?
They did. One funny bit was the AI hosts geeking out over generating multiple versions of a chart from the data. Like they were discovering the power of AI along with us.
That's awesome. So how do you share these audio summaries?
Super easy. Public link, share the whole notebook, or download the audio directly.
So I can send a friend a link to an AI podcast about a research paper? That's wild.
Game changer for collaboration. Imagine sending colleagues an audio summary instead of a huge report.
Sold. Any downsides, though? This all sounds too good to be true.
Well, the audio quality can be iffy, some glitches sometimes, and it's English only for now.
Any workarounds for other languages?
The video host suggested Google AI Studio to clean transcripts, even generate translated summaries, using Google's tools to boost NotebookLM. Smart.
Nice tip. So a little creativity can bypass some limitations. I'm curious, what's the future of this podcast feature? Just a novelty or something bigger?
Big potential. Imagine browsing a website, instantly getting an AI audio summary. It could change how we consume information.
That'd be amazing. But I'm also curious about the, bigger picture. Does this AI podcast thing make you excited, nervous, or both?
Definitely both. It's thrilling to see AI helping us manage information overload, but it also raises questions about human creativity and the risk of oversimplifying complex stuff.
It's like we're on the edge of something new, and you don't quite know what's coming, but it's exciting.
Totally. And we've only scratched the surface of NotebookLM. Let's dig deeper into what makes it tick.
We've really gone deep on NotebookLM's features, but it's important to remember, no tool is perfect, right? The video did point out some areas where, it falls short.
True. And it's actually refreshing to see a video that doesn't just sing praises. They highlight the good and the bad.
Exactly. It makes the whole thing more credible, in my opinion. So what were some of those limitations they called out?
Well, as we touched on earlier, it really excels with text-based stuff. Articles, research papers, web pages, that's its sweet spot. But when it comes to other formats like presentations or spreadsheets, it struggles.
Yeah, the host even tried to get it to analyze a PowerPoint presentation, right? Hoping it could pull out text and images from the slides.
Yeah, ambitious, right? But sadly, it didn't quite work. It seems NotebookLM is really geared towards text, at least for now. So PowerPoint's still the king of presentations, I guess.
For now. But hey, who knows what the future holds? I mean, AI is moving so fast, maybe one day it'll handle everything we throw at it.
One can dream. And speaking of future possibilities, I wanted to circle back to something we talked about earlier. Remember that speculation about NotebookLM's features possibly being integrated directly into Google Drive?
Oh yeah. The idea of being able to analyze anything in my Drive without even opening a separate NotebookLM interface, that would be amazing.
Right. It fits perfectly with Google's whole vision of a completely integrated ecosystem, but it does make you wonder, would that be a good thing for NotebookLM? Or would it lose something special by becoming just another cog in the Google machine?
It's a tough question, isn't it? Like, on the one hand, seamless integration, total convenience, that's tempting. But on the other hand, would it sacrifice some of its focus and power as a standalone product?
That's the trade-off, right? And I think user experience comes into play too. A dedicated interface like NotebookLM has now can be more intuitive for complex stuff.
Yep.
Integrating everything into one platform might make it less user-friendly, especially for newbies.
It's a balancing act. Convenience versus specialization. But hey, maybe Google will find a way to do both. We'll have to wait and see. But ultimately, whatever its future holds, I think we can agree that NotebookLM is a seriously cool tool. It has the potential to change how we work with information, for sure.
Absolutely. And it makes you think, what else will AI be capable of in a few years? It's both exciting and a little bit mind-boggling.
I know, right? It feels like we're standing at the edge of something truly transformative. But hey, that's what makes it so fascinating. And on that note, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried NotebookLM? What are your impressions? What do you think about its potential? Share your experiences with us. Join the conversation on our social media channels.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.